December 5th, 2007. Parker von Tolson ended up in Charlotte, North Carolina because of a girl. God, the universe, and work played a part too, but it was the girl who excited him most about a midweek visit to Charlotte. He had scheduled a jaunt through Dallas for work, then up through Rochester, New York. An odd route, to be sure, but Parker had the flexibility to tailor his schedule however he wanted, and upstate New York was a place he'd felt drawn to visit. Maybe I was meant to die in a plane crash here, he wondered silently and sarcastically to himself as the plane gained elevation and the pilot announced another try at the descent. Gasps from the passengers and the violent turbulence had Parker wondering if going to Rochester would be among his final decisions. "Ladies and gentlemen," the pilot announced, "I know this isn't the news you want to hear, but the entire Northeast is in a blizzard. We're diverting down to Charlotte. Please relax, and we'll have you safely on the ground in another 2 hours. You'll be rebooked on the next flights back to Rochester when the airports reopen. We apologize for the inconvenience." Some passengers groaned, some complained to flight attendants. Others seemed relieved that another harrowing descent was avoided. Charlotte, Parker thought. What are the odds? This was the role played by the universe, or God, or fate. Parker considered adding Charlotte to his list of cities to visit this trip for one reason. A woman. A married woman he had no business secretly flying across the country to meet. And yet, here was the universe presenting him with the opportunity. There was no question that he'd call her when he landed, and at least inform her that he was in town. He could let her decide if she'd like to meet or not. "You're really here?" She seemed nervously excited. "I am. I was scheduled to land in Rochester, but they closed the airport because of a blizzard. I guess Charlotte had room for us to land. What are the odds?" "Well, probably better than you'd think, honestly," she replied. "There are forces out there that know better than our best-laid plans. But you know that. It's been just over a year." Her voice trailed off, apparently remembering the last time they'd seen each other. "Let's meet for lunch tomorrow, noon, at the South Park Mall. I'm excited to see you," she said hurriedly. "I gotta go. I'll call you when I'm there." Parker shut his Motorola flip phone and smiled at the prospect of seeing her again. December 6th, 2007. Parker entered the concrete multi-level parking garage that looked exactly like the parking garages at home. He found a spot on the second floor near Nordstrom, forgetting the holiday shopping season was well underway and remembering why he generally avoided malls in December. Not being used to the size of his airport rental Chevrolet, he had to make a multi-point turn to nestle the car in between two larger SUVs. His concentration was fully on the distance between his front fender and a Jeep's driver's side door, biting his lip as he slowly inched forward into the spot. A loud rumble and crashing sound echoed through the garage. Parker stood on the brake pedal out of instinct, then threw the car into park. His head swiveled as his heart pounded. A cloud of dust billowed through the sound of car alarms. "What the hell?" Parker muttered urgently in the direction of the dust, then found himself out of the car and running toward it. Just around the corner from where he parked was a section of collapsed parking garage. Chunks of concrete and twisted rebar had crushed a row of cars. It was hard to see through the dust and the cacophony of screaming car alarms. Parker frantically went from car to car looking for people. Thank God the crushed cars seemed empty. A crowd had gathered, but most people just stood in place, talking on their phones. He couldn't hear them, but the approaching sirens were a clear sign that someone had called 911. Convinced that the crushed cars were empty, Parker made his way to one last vehicle, which sat on a slab of concrete that, until about 30 seconds ago, was the floor of the third level. The front of that car was crushed and the car badly damaged, but he could see a person inside as the dust began to settle. He ran to the car, grabbed the door handle, and managed to pull it open. A woman sat in the driver's seat, her hands still on the steering wheel. "Are you okay?" Parker asked. She looked remarkably calm. "Yes," the woman replied, as she made an effort to begin getting out of the destroyed car. "Hang on. Paramedics are coming. You should wait for them to help you out." "I'm okay. I actually have someone coming to get me. I can get out," she replied. Parker extended his hand, which she grabbed and lifted herself out of the car. "Are you sure you're okay? What happened?" "I'm not sure. I was parking. I was going to shop for the grandkids. Then you showed up at my door." "Ma'am," Parker said urgently, "the garage collapsed. You fell from the 3rd floor. You should really sit and wait for the paramedics." "I'm okay. But maybe you can walk with me while I wait. Someone's coming to get me." He put an arm around her and stepped down from the concrete chunks and onto the floor of the garage. "Please, just walk with me," she said again. Still holding her, they walked through the garage and across a short walkway to the 2nd floor entrance to Nordstrom. A bench was outside the door. "I'll just wait here. They'll be here soon. Thank you." Parker's phone rang. He nodded toward the woman, satisfied she was safe, turned, and answered as he headed back toward the wreckage, hoping to get to his car and leave. "Parker, are you okay? I was running late and I can't get into the garage. So many fire trucks. What happened?" "I'm okay. I was parking and part of the garage collapsed. I just helped a woman out of her car. Looks like she's okay. I can't believe this." Parker glanced back toward the bench. The woman was gone already. "Wow, that was fast," Parker said, relieved that she was okay. "I think it's pretty obvious why you were diverted to Charlotte, and it wasn't to see me. I shouldn't do this, Parker. Have a safe trip home. I'm so glad you're safe." June 28th, 2021. "Did I ever tell you about the parking garage in Charlotte?" Parker's new bride shook her head. "Nope, but your stories always captivate me. It was so long ago, but I helped a woman out of her car after a parking garage collapsed. It was intense." "Wow. When was this?" she asked. "I don't know, 07, 08 maybe, a long time ago." Parker's wife opened her phone with the intent of fact-checking her husband and typed in "Charlotte parking garage collapse." She showed him a resulting headline. "One dead in parking deck collapse at Charlotte Mall." Someone died? Oh no. He checked the date on the story. December 6th, 2007. "Yeah, this is it," Parker said, scrolling deeper into the article. The picture in the story of the woman who died matched his memory of the woman he helped escape. "Someone's coming to get me," she had repeatedly said on the way to the bench where she disappeared. "Someone's coming to get me." The words echoed through Parker von Tolson's head.